Boog, good morning. How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing outstanding, man. I enjoy coming on Wednesday on 99% of the week, except when T-Bob is a little ornery. Hopefully today is not one of those days.
No, I'm not very horny today, Booger, but thank you for asking.
I said ornery. I didn't say anything about a horny.
Oh, excuse me. I misheard. Your cell phone reception must have done that.
Devin White was named the Butkus Award winner yesterday, Boog. First time in the program's history that hardware coming to Baton Rouge. How good is White?
I think he's the best linebacker in America. I think he'll be a phenomenal player on the next level. I just like how hard he plays. You know, if you watch the Cowboys play a couple of weeks ago against the Saints, and you saw those two linebackers, Jalen Smith and Vander Esch, I think he has the potential to be in that category. A guy that can play sideline to sideline. He's very instinctive. He understands football. But my most important thing I like about him, man, I've been around him a little bit. He's a team leader. He's a great person, and I'm proud that he is in my company as an LSU Tiger.
Showed off his leadership yesterday after he took home the Butkus Award, talking about how big of an honor it was to represent LSU. He's going to play in the bowl game and what it meant to take home the Butkus Award, and also tweeted out his support for his teammate, Greedy Williams, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick as well. When it comes down to this issue in playing in the bowl games and guys can see their future earnings right there in front of them, where do you stand on playing and not playing?
Well, I think it's a personal choice. I really don't have a problem either way. If a guy feels that he's gotten to a point where mentally he doesn't want to go out and risk what he sees in front of him, I have no problem. If a guy says, you know what, I want to go out one more time with my brother and put on the purple and gold one more time, go play in a bowl that, to my knowledge, I don't think we've ever played in, the Fiesta Bowl. And if that's the case, then I'm fine with it. I think that what fans and everyone else has to realize is that this is the player's decision. And there's a thing in life. I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kids. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. So don't tell me how to live mine. As a fan, as a Tiger, you support the player, especially if he's doing something to better himself and his family. That's what these kids come to LSU for. So if you're a fan out there and you're down on Greedy Williams for not playing, shame on you.
Same question I had on Devin White. How good's Greedy?
I think Greedy has the potential to be really, really good. I think Devin will have more early success just because I think he's a little bit more instinctive. Playing corner, man, is different, man. It's a different animal. And I think when you're Greedy, you know, much like Dante Jackson found out, when you get on that island in the National Football League, every Sunday there's somebody out there that can dust you off to the island. And as long as he has a short memory, I think he's going to be good. And a lot's going to depend on where he's drafted, who his coach is, what kind of scheme he's in. You know, Greedy likes to play a lot of man-to-man. He's going to have to learn to play some off coverage, learn to play some zone coverage. And I think, you know, once you do that, then his play will go up, because the National Football League is a league you can't just line up and play man-to-man. Like the days of Deion Sanders and Champ Bailey, those days are long gone. So you're going to have to be multiple in how you play and be versatile and able to play off or up close or bump or however he wants to play. But I do think he's going to be very, very good. I think both of those guys are going to be really, really good.
Talking to Monday Night Football's Booger Mcfarland. Booger, have you ever seen abs on a defensive lineman like Aaron Donald's rocking? I know you ain't seen him in the mirror, so answer honestly.
Yeah, I mean, every time I look in the mirror, I see him.
No. See, I knew that's where you're going to go. That's a lie. Okay, yeah, how about this? Is Aaron Donald a legitimate MVP candidate right now?
Absolutely, he is. And I think if you look at the MVP candidates out there right now, he may not be one or two, because I think you got to look at Mahomes, Gurley, Breeze, Goff. But find me a player that's been as dominant at their position as Aaron Donald has been for as long as he's been. And consider this, T-Bob, he's getting double-teamed 70% of the time. So absolutely, he's an MVP candidate.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. Also, I've never seen anybody that shredded at 290. Look, were you surprised to see the Saints get shut down? I mean, it was the worst offensive statistical performance of the Breeze-Payton era. Were you surprised to see the Cowboys be able to do that?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. You know, when you talk about Sean Payton and Drew Brees, it's a rhythm offense, okay? It's based on rhythm. It's based on timing. Drew drops back and gets the ball out. And how do you affect that? You got to jam the wide receivers, be physical outside, and make Brees uncomfortable. And I don't care who you are. You can be Joe Montana Tom Brady. If your quarterback's not comfortable, then your offense is not going to be successful. And I think that's what we saw. Now, moving forward, I do think if these two teams meet again, the Cowboys and the Saints, I do think Peyton and Breeze will adjust, because what I would do, I would try to run the football more at the Cowboys rather than trying to drop back and throw it, because the Saints offensive line, probably the first time all year, and you guys can correct me because you guys watch them closer than I do, their offensive line couldn't block Dallas's front.
Yeah.
That's inside or outside, and that's the one thing that's got to be more alarming than the loss, is that their front five got whipped by Dallas's front four, and that's a problem against any team you face.
You mentioned another matchup there with New Orleans and Dallas. How about the second matchup this weekend coming between Tampa Bay and the Saints? The Buccaneers got New Orleans in the first week of the regular season, but right now Tampa Bay playing a little differently. Jameis Winston back under center, and they're riding a 2-game win streak. How do you like this Sunday over at Raymond James?
Revenge is a dish best served cold, and,
Yeah.
and I do think the Saints will get some revenge this week. Jameis is playing better because he's not turning the football over, and I think the Bucs will have some confidence based on what happened with Week 1. But it's not really even close, guys. I mean, Tampa, I'm down here, and I drive around here, and everybody's kind of getting excited a little bit because the team's playing better.
Yeah.
But you are what your record says you are, as Parcells said, and this is not a good football team overall. I do think it would be a huge upset if the Bucs were to beat the Saints. And I think if you're the Saints, you got to kind of keep within shouting distance of the Rams, because the Rams probably played one of their worst football games of the year, and they still found a way to win at Detroit. So if you're New Orleans, you got to be able to do the same.
What about Mike McCarthy in that situation up in Green Bay? Boog, what do you make of it?
It was time to go. I said on the broadcast on Monday night, guys, there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. And if you go back early in the season, remember when Green Bay played Buffalo, and after the game, Green Bay won, but after the game, Aaron Rodgers criticized the play calling and said the offense stunk. Ever since that moment, everyone knew publicly, because guess who calls the plays? Guess who's in putting together the offense? It's Mike McCarthy. So if you say as a quarterback that the offense stinks, you're saying that the guy that's at the top is the guy in charge of that. So the relationship between these two has been bad for a while. That's the reason why I said it's never a wrong time to do the right thing. I think the right thing was done because it had become toxic. And when you're at home and it's Lambeau Field and it's 20 degrees and it's cold and there's snow flurries, and you allow a team from the West Coast, the Arizona Cardinals, to come in your house,
it's so
push you
true.
around? I mean, come on. To me, that was the last straw. And I understand why they fired him right after the game, because that just doesn't happen. Teams out west are used to 60 degrees and sunshine. They don't play well in the cold weather, and they dominated Green Bay, them being Arizona on Sunday.
Yeah. Now, does Rodgers look a little off too, though? It seems like he's missing throws right now that you haven't really seen him miss in the past.
Yeah, I mean, he might be a little off. I mean, nobody's perfect, T-Bob, but I think, is this the best season of his career? No. Is it the worst? No. I think it's somewhere in the middle. But Aaron Rodgers, who's at a supreme talent, a middle-tier season for him is still a top 8 quarterbacking season overall. So I don't think his being a hair off is the big issue.
Boog, you mentioned the Saints having to keep pace with the Rams. Do you think the Bears can upset the Rams?
Yes, because the game is in Chicago. It's probably going to be 25 degrees. The defense that Vic Fangio and the Bears have is really, really good. And I think the Bears can stop the run. The Rams are a running football team. I don't know how many of you guys realize that. Like, we all get enamored by what they do with the passing game. They are a running football team. If you can stop the run, you got a chance against the Rams, and I think the Bears can.
Speaking of cold, it'll be freezing up in Seattle on Monday night. That's where Boog and the crew will be for the Seahawks and the Vikings coming at you for that next broadcast on Monday Night Football. You can catch him here every Wednesday, brought to you by Central Plumbing Company. Thanks, man. Have a good call.